If you're doing any of these 5 things before a sparring session or a fight, you're not going to perform to your best. It's not just me saying this. Each one of these things is backed by science. And if you switch up any one of these 5 to the alternative that I'm going to give you, I can guarantee that you will perform better. But before we dive into them, I need to tell you a little secret that the Olympic Sports Performance Director of Team Great Britain told me before I won my medal in Beijing. And what it is, it's all about the small changes that make the big difference. And if each one of these 5 things on this video help you perform just 2% better, that's instantly 10% better that you will be. But I know they're way more than 2%, especially the last couple. Have you ever felt like this before you're about to spar or fight, when your body's feeling not as agile or as elusive as it may have been feeling when you were just doing a heavy bag session? Maybe it's sore from your previous workout. Maybe you slept funny last night and now you're in the gym and your shoulders are stiff or your back or your neck is stiff. The chances are, if you're feeling slow and sluggish, you're neglecting one major thing that can really reduce your performance in the ring. And what that is not ending every training session that you do correctly. And this is crucial because it's going to help your muscles recover better. It'll help maintain your flexibility. It'll keep you fight ready, even though it might be boring. But a good cool down and stretch is an absolute must if you want to be performing at the top of your game. Now, when you do this with the other tips that I'm going to give you, it's an absolute game changer. But there's something else that's equally more important, like tip number 2. And this is very common to happen before a fight or a spar. And that is when you start to warm up, straight away you start feeling out of breath and you're breathing heavy. And then you start thinking, oh, am I even ready to be here? I'm not fit enough. I should have worked harder all of those weeks ago. Why is this happening to us right now? I'm exhausted and I'm about to get in the ring with someone else. He's fit and he's strong. And then all of these self-doubts start really kicking in. Then your nerves pick up. And then it's like, why the hell am I feeling like this right now? And then when you're doing this, you're burning a ton of energy and it can really mess up your head. I'm going to tell you how to fix it. But first, do you know why this happens? Well, I'll tell you why. You're about to get in the ring with someone else who's been trained to punch you in the face hard, and your body knows that. So your heart rate will start rising faster than normal, and you have some nerves. Then your brain starts to work overtime, thinking, well, what if I lose? What if I get knocked out? All of this stuff is totally normal to feel when you're about to get in the ring. Am I doing the right thing? I'm never going to do this fight again. This is crazy. This happens. These thoughts kick into your brain. Now, how you can deal with that is by doing this tip that Olympic gold medalist Ollie Harrison told me before I competed in the Olympic Games. And that is visualization. The night before your fight or your big sparring session, if you lie in bed and you visualize what's going to happen, when you get to the ring, it makes it way easier because you've already done it in your head. And I've done a full video talking about how I dealt with nerves when I was in the Olympic semi-finals. You should definitely watch that video after this one. And you might have heard people say, boxing, it's all in their head. And they're kind of true when they say that. So if you can get your mind right, everything else will follow, as long as you're doing it with tip number 3. Now, tip number 3 is a huge one. Do you ever feel really fit on the bags or on the pads, and when you step in the ring and you start sparring or fighting and your stamina is lacking? Now, it's very important that you get this one thing right, because if you don't, there's actually more chance that you'll get hurt when you're in the ring. And when you do get this one thing right, you will have better concentration, you will have better stamina, you will be an all-round better boxer. Can you guess what I'm talking about? Well, it is hydration. There's so many boxers being hurt in fights or in sparring sessions from not being fully hydrated. Yes, you can drink water, which will keep you hydrated, but if you want to go to the next level, you can do what I've been doing, and that is adding something into me water to really hydrate me full body, and that is LMNT. And what I do every morning when I wake up, I get one sachet of this, I pour it in me water, mix it up, and drink it. And it's not just hydrating us, it's also giving me the sodium, the potassium, the magnesium that I'll need for not only for a boxing session, but also for everyday life. And if you're heavy sweating in your training session, which you should be, you need more than water to hydrate yourself after. And before the Olympics, they would give us an electrolyte drink because they knew how important they were for our bodies. But when I look back at what they were actually giving us, it was full of sugars and other things that we didn't really need. But this was before Element was around, and this is the sachet right there. I wish they had this on the market when I was competing in the Olympic Games, and maybe my bronze medal would have been a different colour. I can't recommend this highly enough. Trust me when I'm saying this is the best product of its kind on the market. That's the reason why my whole family are using this, and why I'm so happy that they're sponsoring this video. And if you go to drinklmnt.com/boxing, they will give you a free sample pack with every order. And if you don't like it, which you will, they will give you a full refund and you don't even have to send the box back. How amazing is that? So go to drinklmnt.com/boxing and get your free sample pack with any order. I know you're going to thank me later. Now, moving on to number 4. Having sex before a fight has always been a big no-no. This has been around the sport forever. Even Rocky's coach Mickey said this.
Listen, kid, you women weaken legs.
Is there any science to back this? Well, I found some stuff that might surprise you that I'm going to talk about. But if you're like me, you've probably thought, how does it weaken legs? What if you're having sex and you're lying on your back? But maybe it means it'll weaken your legs if you're doing it like Meghan Markle and Mike Ross in the TV show Suits. When you're standing up, then that could really weaken your legs, as it's like a workout when you're standing up. And anyway, yeah, you know what I mean. And there have been lots of fighters over the years that came out and said that they would not have sex weeks before a fight or even longer. Now, a lot of coaches say not doing it can help you get the edge over your opponent. They think ejaculation can make you less aggressive in a fight, while other coaches and other fighters will argue against that and say, well, it makes you more relaxed, and if you're more relaxed, you'll perform better. And then the other side say it can make you too relaxed and decrease your testosterone. But there's lots of different schools of thoughts here. And I always remember my professional boxing coach Bobby Rimmer saying he doesn't want you lying in bed the night before a fight, cuddling your girl, being soft. He wants you to be a real killer and stay switched on and just be tough and aggressive, blaming the person in front of you for you having to be away from your loved ones, making that extra sacrifice. It's that person that's in front of you, which to me, that makes total sense. But what does the science say about physical impact, testosterone levels, and the psychological effects? Well, most studies show that sexual activity has little to no physical impact on your athletic performance. It doesn't significantly affect your strength, your endurance, or your physical capabilities as a fighter. But what about the testosterone? There's that old saying that if you don't do it, it will increase your testosterone levels in a man, which will potentially enhance your performance. However, scientific evidence doesn't strongly support this. Now, by having sex, testosterone levels can fluctuate, but not enough where it will make an impact on your performance. Now, talking about the psychological effects of this will vary between different athletes. Sexual activity can be relaxing, and it can also reduce anxiety. For others, it might just be a distraction that affects your mental state. So what all this comes down to is your mind. And I would highly recommend keeping away from sex at least 2 weeks before a fight. And when you do this with the next tip I'm going to give you, you will be performing at your very best. I get asked all the time if there's anything that I would do differently as a fighter when I was fighting. And with tip number 5, I want you to see if you can guess what it actually is before I give you the tip. And I'm going to give you some clues. This one thing helps your brain absorb new techniques that you'll learn throughout the day. Can you guess? It also helps with all of the new information that you're learning when you go into the gym, especially if you're working on game plans or trying to get out of bad habits. And this one thing also helps repair your brain cells after you've been punched in the head yet. Can you guess what it is yet? Well, one more thing that I'll tell you what it is. It also releases growth hormone, which is essential for your muscle growth and repair. It's the hormone that stimulates tissue growth and muscle regeneration. If you're thinking, Tony, it's got to be sleep. Well, you're bang on. You will get all of them benefits that I just mentioned, as well as a ton more if you're sleeping correct throughout training and a fight. But I understand the night before a fight or a big event, it's so hard to get to sleep. I'm going to give you 3 amazing tips that will help you fall asleep faster and deeper, and you'll be asleep for longer. The first one is put your bloody phone in another room and keep off screens at least 1 hour before bed. The blue light from our screens in the phone is stopping your body from producing the sleep hormone melatonin. Also, the blue light keeps our brain's attentions high, which throughout the day it's fine, but on the evening, especially the night before a fight, you don't want your brain to be wired and switched on. So having your phone off for, let's just even say 2 hours before bed, that is a game changer. I understand a lot of people just struggle with that, or they've got to be on the phones. Sometimes I've got to be on that. If you need that, you'll need to wear some blue light blocking glasses. I use these from Jay's Eyewear. These glasses are amazing. They prevent the blue light from getting into my brain, like I mentioned, which helps us sleep better. And you can get a pair from Amazon. Get yourself some of these for watching the TV or being on your phone late at night. I'm telling you, mate, it's a game changer. Now, number 2 is get your room dark and cold. It's kind of 2 tips. If you can get your temperature around 64 degrees Fahrenheit and as dark as possible, maybe blackout curtains, that is also a huge game changer in sleeping for longer and sleeping deeper and also falling asleep faster. Now, number 3 is the method that I used when I was fighting all the time, where I would be lying in bed, I would visualize a corridor, and I would put things in different doors. Now, you might be thinking,
Tony, you sound bloody crazy.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. Now, you can do all of this stuff that I said, but it all comes down to training right. If you're not training right, you're not going to have success in the ring. Now, I created this video right here where I show you how to train by yourself without a coach, making sure you're doing everything right. If you click here, watch this video next.